almost every conference I want to talk about personalization because I feel like it's underserved in the marketplace. And we've all been talking about personalization for years. I mean, even the DMA back then, right, they were talking about personalization. And I've heard the word relevancy. I mean, if you guys count in your head, I was sitting there counting in my head. How many times did I hear the word relevancy, and how many times did I hear the word technology? Because those are the two things that are near and dear to my heart. And I didn't really, we heard about them, we keep talking about them, but the question that keeps going in my mind is that, well, then how come I'm not experiencing them as a consumer? So I wanted to talk about it today. And again, here's the word relevance, right? We all know relevance is what we're supposed to be providing when it comes to marketing, communications, campaigns, so forth. It's worth saying, though, again, because it's still an issue that we're dealing with. But relevance equals engagement, which is obvious. And in the end, we're trying to get people to act. And just for a little bit of my profile, as far as what I use marketing automation tools. I use Salesforce.com. No social listening tools right now, but we have web content management system and so forth. So I am, as far as a profile and as far as what we use internally, we are in the same boat as most of the folk here, based upon their survey results. So in the end, though, we're trying to get people to take action. And so as a consumer, I'm constantly evaluating every piece I receive as a consumer or a B2B recipient of what you are trying to sell me, and trying to look for things that strike chords. Because if we're not striking chords, then we're not going to be relevant to any given consumer. So for personalization, I think a long time ago, the question was, well, should we be doing it? I mean, if you saw something with your name on it, you're like, oh, freaky. This is invading my space. And I think that was maybe 10 years ago or so. And then it's just kind of, slowly gone away to a point where now you're on Facebook, and they're like, you see an ad, you're like, I know you're 38 years old, and 38-year-olds get fat, and you need to work out. So it's come to a point, and Mark Zuckerberg, I mean, I think he, in his legal hearings, was basically like, it's dead. Like, privacy's dead. Like, just get over it and expect it to be dead because the data's out there. We all have it. Now the question is, are we going to use it, and to what extent? What extent do people feel comfortable with? So no big surprise, 7 in 10 consumers say that they like custom content because it's relevant to them. 6 in 10 say that after reading a custom publication, they feel like they know that the person knows them better and that they're more willing to act with them. Again, no big surprise. But so the question is, the survey question that I asked all the audience at one point was, how difficult is it to provide personalized, relevant content to your audience? And it wasn't one of the top 7, right, as I mentioned yesterday. Supposedly not too big of a problem. Anybody guess what this percentage is? Anything? 10, 15, 20? 32%. So it's a very or extremely challenging task. How many people have their website, their website, your domain, as customizable content and personalized content? That's what I expected. 2 in this room actually have a website. You didn't raise your hand. You have one. That have a customizable website. So my question is then, if this is not hard, if this is not a challenge for you guys in the big scheme of everything, then where's the personalized content? Can I see a hands of people who feel like they get personalized content that you receive as a consumer? Decent? Okay, as a consumer. Now as a business person, you're all in roles where you get sold things from other companies. From a B2B standpoint, how about, do you feel like you get personalized content sent to you in a B2B realm? Wow, there's a lot of that. Well, I went through my Yahoo inbox, evaluated those emails. And again, at least those are a little bit customized. I went through the Home Depot that I go to every, month really. But, and just looked at the newsletters that I'm getting. Okay, what kind of personalized content, relevant content am I getting? Great, they know I live in Oceanside, California. Thank you for the weather report. Grow your own vegetables. No. I have not grown a vegetable in my life. And I'd like to, but maybe there's no wish list that they see here. And there's coupons for $1 off a gallon strawberry jar planter. I bought so many I can't count them, and thank goodness they offered me that coupon. I'm ready to buy. This goes back to, right, relevancy, engagement, action. Am I going to take action off this? 0, right? You know how much buying history these guys have on me? It's insane. Southwest, I love Southwest Airlines. We talked to them recently about personalization and about changing these really on their program. They got a rewards program. They know where I've flown. They know every leg. They even know which ones I've searched, right? There's tons of opportunity there. What do they deliver me? Absolutely irrelevant content. That's where I go back to as a consumer. If you're feeling it, I'm very interested to know if you guys feel it. I mean, I feel it in certain places, but I certainly don't feel it for the most part. And these are major brands with major money and major marketing departments. I'm getting nothing. Absolutely zero. My email inbox from work. How many people receive over 100 emails a day in their email inbox? Okay. 200. 300. No? 300? No more? Okay. Yeah, let's see Oracle back there. Yep. 400? I receive over 400. Somehow I got on too many newsletters or something. I don't know what happened, but I receive over 400 emails a day to my email inbox. And so which ones am I supposed to pay attention to? You can see I clicked on a couple, I think, where it just had the subject line was RE. You know what I mean? And sometimes even, right, the spammers will trick you that way and say RE and so forth. But there's no way I'm paying attention. Going back to Scott's point, I am in there for fractions of a second. Sometimes my finger is already moving as I go through that inbox before I'm reading the first characters of who sent it or the subject line. I mean, it's ready. My finger is on that trigger. And then let's say go to Macy's. Now, that's great. I appreciate it. But I'm probably not going to buy it. I'm just probably not going to buy that particular one. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's an IP address. My wife's been on the site, something. But nothing relevant whatsoever. And then, of course, go back to the more traditional methods of the inbox at work or even home. It's actually better, right? I think it's better than it used to be because there was so much mail that got cut out in 2008, 2009. But still, overall, not very relevant. And then, of course, the ultimate, right? You're walking down the street, and of course, nothing is absolutely related to who you are. And so, yeah, let's pay attention to all that stuff. So if you think about it, right, and Facebook actually this is the last one. Social is pretty good, but how much are you there for the ads or how much are you there for the content that's being delivered in there? And I think that's the big difference is when you got emails and you got mail, you are forced to go through every one of those things to kind of wade through it all. But social and some other things, they're trying to advertise in your space. You're trying to do something else, and they're trying to invade. So interest and relevance. So the question is, okay, I've got all these things flying at me every day, right? And so, I mean, that's at least half my day is spent combing through all of this stuff, making decisions about what I'm going to do as a consumer. So you've got the email inbox. And what I decided was that 52% of what I received was actually interesting to me. Only 12% was actually customized to me. But that's because I've done my own filtering on my own Yahoo inbox, right? I've just signed up for what I want. I've unsubscribed from what I don't want. When it came to the B2B emails that come in, 12% were actually interesting to me, and only 4% were tailored to me. So if you think about it, you guys, how many people get outbound sales calls, like prospecting calls to your phone? How many people don't answer their phone? Oh, wow. Jeez. Okay, Jim, you're right. No, it's a joke, right? It's a total joke. Call. And I look at the number. Sometimes I pick up and I say, I don't take a sales call. They're like, oh, this isn't a sales pitch. And that's when I hang up. But it's completely irrelevant. Facebook and social, 25% of the ads on the right are interesting to me, and 95% of them are tailored to me because Facebook does a great job at making customizable ads that go right to me. My problem is I'm trying to do something else. So I'm not paying attention. I do not care. How many people have clicked a Facebook ad? No. We got one person who's clicked a Facebook ad. 2. All right, yeah. Isn't that interesting, though? All this now we're talking about super hyper-relevant stuff that's over here, and it's still not doing anything for you. It's very interesting, right? It's got to be a combination. The website, you go to the website, half the time it's interesting to me because you're there to visit whatever the site is. The only problem is that 50% of the time, it's actually, I'm still trying to wade through, like, wait a minute, what are you? What is this? Where am I getting my answers? Whether it's the solutions tab or it's something else. And only 5%. I see very, very little. If you actually go, I have a purpose. I'm coming to your site. Now, are you going to give me something useful? 5% really of the time, because you're giving me the standard spiel. Give me the, okay, great. I don't care if you're what industry you're in. I don't care who you are. I'm just going to give you my homepage. On the news websites, again, I'm trying to do something else, and you're getting in my way. But you're over here on the right. Maybe there's only one ad, so it's really relevant to me. But you know what? I'm still trying to do something else, so it's not really of interest to me. Direct mail, 20% of interest, 7% is relevant. And then when it comes to walking down the street, 10% of interest and I have zero interest, or none of it's relevant to me whatsoever. So we're not there yet. So to say, that we're delivering personalized content and so forth, I mean, if you guys disagree, it's good, but there's not a lot of relevancy going on, and there's not a lot of things that are striking chords. I must get at least over, I don't know, there's probably a stat, you probably have it. How many times a day do you get hit with eyeballs, right, or you're trying to get advertising in front of you? Is it 2,000? 3,000? So 3,000 ads are thrown at me every single day, and I'm only clicking one or two, maybe, depending upon how they're coming through. So why aren't we doing it? It's too complicated. It's too resource intensive. Too much content is required. Everybody have content challenges, by the way? Who's got content challenges? Yeah, it's one for me for sure. Too costly. The data is not readily available. It doesn't apply to our business, which is very rare in cases. Services aren't really readily available. I need help on this, and they're just not really skilled in it. Or the technology isn't good enough, which is really, nobody should be using that excuse anymore. So you know who is there? Barack Obama. You guys heard about the campaign. I don't know how many people have heard about the details of his campaign and how he ran it. It's unbelievable, right? And 2008 versus 2012, massive difference. So 2008 was the year of being the online marketer, right? 2012 was the year of actually being the tactical marketer that made people go from this level of interest to this level of interest. And so the guy who ran the digital director for the campaign, he said that we consistently found that people wanted to get a sense of the campaign from where they knew who they were and what they'd done for us in the past. So something as simple as dropping a line like, "You've volunteered before, thank you. Now take the next step." Critical. I got those emails as well. I was put it out there. I was a Barack Obama supporter. And they know how much I'd given last time. And they knew exactly what they thought they should give next time and how much they should increase the frequency or whatever it was. And their messaging was ridiculously good. I mean, the subject lines. Does anybody see the Jon Stewart program on what he said about Barack Obama? So Barack put out these emails like, "Hey." Yeah, subject line, "Hey." Dinner. What are you gonna? I'm gonna get invited to dinner. Me, you, and Michelle. That's a little bit weird. But it worked. And he had these casual conversations. And I don't know if you guys, how many people, by the way, marketers that write emails for their salespeople? Like personal emails for their salespeople? Okay. We do it, and we try to use very casual language. I mean, it was right in step with what Barack Obama was doing. But he also had this dashboard, and this dashboard was the key. So not only did he put out relevant, personalized content and really use the data that he had, but he also created a dashboard. And so this dashboard was for every campaign person out there. They could log into this portal, and then they could start doing their own personalization with templates, similar to what our product offers, but I don't know what technology they did to use it or to implement it. But they turned it into something where there was a little dashboard. I mean, it really is a marketing dashboard, right? For them to take action. We should probably incorporate this. But really, I mean, you could tell who was going on, who was in your area, what their activities were. Hey, there's a digital footprint that just got left by this person. Now you should go hit him up with his email or reach out to him with a phone call. I mean, just brilliant stuff. And of course, I guess when you got about $1 billion to spend on your campaign, it gets a little bit easier. But it's all self-funding, right? It's all about funding. That's what this whole thing was. So if you haven't heard about it, I encourage you to check out more stories about it. HubSpot just did an article about it as well. But really, really good. I mean, we can take all of it back into our own campaigns. So this summit, relevancy. How many people, how many people saw the name of the event and said, okay, wait a minute, what is this? Name of the event only. Okay, how many people saw the picture of where it was going to be and said, okay. Yeah. Jill, I was hoping for more. Come on. So this event was all about relevancy, right? The whole point is that there was not a marketing operations event. The whole point was the name of the event, then, of course, pictures and other things to entice you as well. But as long as the marketing operations words hit the chord and there's an event, like that's all that really need to be in the subject line for the event. And that's why when we sent, this is the first email we sent. In fact, we only sent 2. We sent 2 emails that were lead gen emails about this event. And this was the first one. And yes, it did not make it. This was a rejected recipient, I believe. He did not exist. But whether you're running the Rebel Alliance or you're running your company, if you have something that strikes a chord in the subject line, which we all got to get past, and then along with something that's at least intriguing or enticing enough to say, wait a minute, what is this? That step of getting past that delete is so critical, but you've got to somewhat deliver something neat at the end, or something that strikes a chord. Now, the funny part is that we are known a little bit for these personalized images, right? Our forward rate is ridiculous. We have people who say, oh, you're MarcomCentral, I get your emails. And it's usually not, and it's too frequent. And I'm going, wait, it's only every 7 business days. It's not too bad, right? You're part of our welcome program probably. But so we ask you, do you want to be taken off? It's one of the things I say. Sorry if we're emailing you too much. They say, no. Well, okay. Well, I like your emails. Okay, well, thank you. Do you know what we do? No. Fine. That's fine. Fine. Actually, we did have Kavidian come up to us at Marketing Prof's event. And Marketing Prof's, he said, I've been getting your emails for probably a year and a half. So why don't you tell me what you do? I said, well, thanks, bad, good, I'm not sure. It ended up being a huge, right? I mean, they're perfect for our product. And they were not a lead that had developed really enough. We probably needed to do a better job with content or putting them on different traffic. But maybe it wasn't even opening consistently, right? Or maybe the preview pane was in there, so who knows? But it got to a point where people are still engaged and they're growing those leads. Our sales guys would like them to go faster, but it's still creating engagement. So where do we start? First of all, just as a recommendation, I recommend that you look through your entire lead process and look for the best opportunities. Where can you create relevancy that will change that percentage from one step to the next? And then take that against the efforts to make it happen. So a lot of times, especially back in the old school days, it used to be like, well, you can't just provide personalization with like first name, last name, because it's not really relevant. You're not really giving me anything. So hide it. Actually, I don't know if you remember that, Coleman, but they used to say hide it. Hide your personalization because people are scared of it, and you just should fake it. But I always rejected that and said I can use I've got barely any data, and I can use first name, last name all day to generate leads. And so I looked for like different areas of B2C that we could increase. Outbound emails, website ads, social ads, retargeting ads, those are all easy in the B2C realm in order to be able to get personalized. You have behavioral data there that's sending you back somewhere. You guys have all seen retargeting, right, where the ads follow you around. I mean, those have exploded in the past year, right? We used to think we were cool, and now, just every site's doing it. Every competitor, too. And then the last one is image personalization. So a very little-known technology. And in fact, Eloqua just implemented into their welcome program. Because the response that we got, I actually bought everybody who worked at Eloqua on a list, and along with all the other email providers and marketing automation providers, and then sent them an email. And then Jill Rowley, who's up here, and about 20 other salespeople in that organization just turned around and screamed at their product people and said, we have to have this technology. I'll show you real quickly in a second. I know we're running short on time, right? So B2B relevance, though, this is the part that, to me, is the neatest opportunity. So B2B, I think, is about 70% of the people in the room. And the dynamic website, the holy grail. Honestly, like that's what we all need to strive towards, right? The product brochure can be customizable, 100%. There's no reason static content should exist for any of this stuff. The proposals that you make to a client, you should not have to go through a very manual process to create those personalized proposals. You can have sales have an input into that. So if sales just met with somebody, whether it's on demand, like on their mobile device, or whether it's on the website when they get back from the sales call, they have content, they have information about that lead that should be somehow systematized and put into relevant terms. Image personalization's in this group too, and retargeted ads. So when you talk about like, okay, the data and the media as far as what's complex and what's easy, there's different pieces that are easier and there's different pieces that are hard. I mean, dynamic content emails, how many people send dynamic content emails out? Not very many. It's one of the best things that the tools can do right now, and it's completely at your fingertips. The CRM can drive all this relevant content right to, very, very easily. And there's tools all built in almost every email engine, ExactTarget, Eloqua, Marketo, whoever it be. Direct mail VDP. Most people have abandoned print a long time ago, but print is still there, and the fact that print can do everything that a digital piece can do, you guys need to remember that. And it's not that hard. It's not that costly. Everybody's like, oh, it used to be really costly to do that kind of stuff. You can develop hyper-relevant print pieces. I mean, that are 100% different for each person that pops out, and it's a new channel that you should reinvest in. It's hard to make the budget for that, but in the end, those return on investments from that direct mail piece, because nobody's doing it anymore, are actually pretty good. The campaign landing page, as far as ease and difficulty, it's okay. And then again, the holy grail is the dynamic web page. This is one of the personalized images, right? Robert, your sales team needs help. Just insert, all I'm using is first name, last name, company, and we're getting response rates that are very good. This one freaked people out. Robert Miller, and we had, I think, at least 3 phone calls where they said, or emails back that said, did you really set up an artist studio with my name? Like, you're freaking me out. And it's actually really cool. If you guys aren't familiar with image personalization, it's basically a background font, or it's a background, right, with fonts that are either images or lots of little items that make up a font, and it can look as lifelike as you possibly want. But really, talk about striking a chord, as long as you can get past that subject line, and if they see that image, that's why it's always at top, wait a minute. Even the marketers, right, will stop, and we sell to other marketers. So this one was kind of freaky. So this is after a trade show, and it's like, hey, let's follow up. So there's the recipient name along with the rep who actually is associated to that person. So that's all dynamic content, and it's all made on demand. And so fractions of a second go by the time you open your email to the time that image is delivered is fractions of a second. And if we change the CRM to have the new phone number for Jeff or whatever it be, and the next time you open that email, it will have the new phone number. So 100% available. This one right here is, I think, the first email or second email in our welcome campaign. And it's got all the reasons why you should buy MarcomCentral, because you're going to be a genius and you're going to win awards, right? But one of the best performing emails that we have in our welcome campaigns that get people moving. Again, very little data. So I'm going to go through these other ones. Verizon, they do actually a pretty good job having custom landing pages and emails. It's got a picture of my phone. It's got other information about me, right, that they're pulling from the database. Pretty good. Hey Needle and those other people, from a retail perspective, again, B2C, a little bit easier. So the landing pages have the picture of the chair I was looking at built into their website, so pretty good. Also with emails, again, our marketers on the retail space are becoming much better about providing that feedback in the middle. And then here's a print piece, and it's a postcard that went out. It's got a QR barcode that goes to a personalized website and all that other stuff, and it's actually pretty easy. I think that's the thing you got to get over, is that it's not that difficult. Complex is Netflix, right? Total system, rate this movie, rate this movie. Did you like this? What did you like about this? And they are just through these algorithms that are insane. And I'd love to have something like that, but not possible. And then here's where we get into the customizable websites. You got demand base on the back end, right, that can fill in information that helps you customize that website if you don't know that person based on IP address, or if you do know that information, it can provide more. They take pictures of your site. That's freaky, right? They say, I know you're from this domain, and so we're going to insert a picture of your URL into our homepage. That's weird. The first time I saw that, I called my marketing team into the office, and I was just like, look at this. This is actually happening on demand. It was very insane. So I think that's where we all want to get to be. The numbers there support it. So the takeaways that I just wanted to give today, and again, I know I'm way over, is relevancy is expected. We cannot operate in a world anymore where it's not expected. And we all talk about it, and we say we can do it. We say it's not even that much of a challenge, but it's still not happening. Personalization is no longer seen as intrusive. It's, again, expected. So don't be scared. Is anybody still scared about being too intrusive? No? I hope not. It's expected. The biggest thing that also I recommend to people is just ask. Home Depot could ask me at any time, what's my next projects for the next year, and I would happily give that to them. Baseball, I always use Sports Authority and those other retailers. I would happily tell you, if you can't get it from my behavioral data and what I've purchased, I will gladly tell you that I've got kids in Little League and other things so you can provide me coupons or some other type of relevant ad. And I think in general, everybody should ask, why are you interested in my product? Early. Throw it across the screen, whatever it can possibly be. That will change your numbers as they go through the lead pipeline. Find opportunities and start small. Always just look for those little pieces of relevancy that you might be able to provide that will change numbers. And it does not have to be the holy grail. It can be small pieces of personalization, whether it's in the lead gen side or whether it's somewhere else, that you can change those numbers. And then leverage the technology. It's all out there. I know it's hard to comprehend, it's hard to implement and so forth, but there are ways where you can get kind of small, quick wins and then build towards something more because it's going to have to change. You got to centralize your data, and then the last piece is be prepared for a relevancy revolution, and you need to be at the front of it. Your homepage, if you're redoing your website right now, you need to be incorporating that technology that has that personalized web experience built into it as part of that technology platform. We have to do it. Thank you very much.